Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online. In the last episode, we went and had a meeting with the heads of the various Eorzean city-states, the members of the Eorzean Alliance, to go over the results of the Garlean War of Succession, where the former Emperor's grandson was able to wrest control of the Empire from his uncle. So, bit of a change of succession in the Empire. Unfortunately, the new Emperor is just as intent on pressing a Garlean expansion, particularly into Eorzea, as the previous one. So, no real change there. And we had promises to continue to work together to combat this threat and hope that we may be able to bring the Ishgardians back to the Alliance, but fat chance of that. So, we then went and tracked down the Ivy and were able to capture her along with her Garlean contact. So that was a win there. And then we came back to Revenant's Toll, where we're at right now, to talk with Minfilia about tracking down Lady Iceheart and trying to, intercept her before she summons Shiva, or some primal-like being that they think is Shiva. So, we're going to be working on that, and she's bringing in some help to help us try to use the Aetheryte in Snowcloak to track down Iceheart. So, that is what we are going to go ahead and do here. So, we are going to meet Minfilia at the entrance to Revenant's Toll, and see who this expert that she has brought in for assistance.
Minfilia, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Eorzea.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Sharlayan scholar, and an authority on Aetheryte technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Alright, Moonbreeder. So, let's go ahead and see what's next. Let us return to the Rising Stones at once, then... let's return to the Rising Stones at once, then. We have much to discuss. Very well. Apparently she has some relationship with Eorzea. Interesting, though. He's Elizin, I believe, and she's Rogaden. Alright, so into the solar.
gods, it's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister.
A joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of Aetherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white Auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits. And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Oriange, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me. I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Go on.
Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing Aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an Aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate the second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second Aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the Aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first Aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the Aetherite.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, Aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an Aetherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the aetheryte. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risked the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
I guess it is me who is going to be doing the rolling of the dice. Okay. Not really worried about the belts. Go ahead and take those silver pieces. Alright, Minfilia, what do we need to do next? Plan has been devised. Yep, we want to carry it out. Alright, I have already informed Alphino of our plan to recreate the beacon in the manner Moonbrida described. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. He also said that he wished to meet with you at Snowcloak before proceeding. I expect you will find him waiting for you there when you arrive. I want you to know that I appreciate everything you've done on our behalf, Ayame, and that I have faith you will return to us as you always have. I think it'll all turn out okay. Alright, so we need to head out to Snowcloak. Which... the easiest way to get there is probably going to be to head to Dragonhead. I think it's the only real way to get there. And then we will, we'll have to ride. So what I'll probably do is just go ahead and pause the recording while I ride out to Snowcloak. And once I'm in the vicinity, I'll be back. So just a moment. Alright, we are here in Snowcloak, and there's Alphino. Let's have a little chat. Oh, and Moonbreeda's here already. Good to see you, Ayame. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Perish the thought. Alright, Captain Ilbert sends his regards, by the way. He attends the interrogation of Eileen Royal in Ulda even as we speak. But I shall not distract you from the matter at hand. We can discuss the Ivy upon your return. I trust that, by which I mean to say... the others are waiting for us at the Aetheryte after you, sire. There, it's ready. Ha! It worked, I think. Try tuning to the Aetheryte now. Feel for the current and try to locate the beacon. We have done all we can, Ayame. For now, let us withdraw. When your final preparations are complete, you must seek out the beacon we have created. If, by the grace of the 12, you arrive safely, you must stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. Alright, we'll speak with Alpha now. We cannot ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Iceheart to our plans. Should that be the case, she may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual, and if she succeeds, you have little choice but to face Shiva in battle. Knowing little of this saint, I cannot say if your own strength will suffice, and so I would encourage you to call upon your allies. Some may have reservations about wagering their lives on the success of Moonbreeder's experiment, but others will surely agree that desperate times call for desperate measures. Before you assemble your party, pray speak with that knight. I believe he has a message for you from Sir Emmerich. Okay. Stalwart Temple Knight. Madam, Sir Emmerich regrets that he could not be here in person and asks that I read you this letter. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need, it is not her knights who stand poised to defend her. Ayame Yatsurugi, the warrior of light, savior of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you choose to remain. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gifts for selfish ends, you wield yours in service to a greater cause. May Halone bless you with good fortune and see you safely home. Oh, that's nice. And we've unlocked the Shiva battle. Alright. Well, that's a bit of a spoiler, isn't it? But, yeah. We've not been able to prevent any summoning of a primal up to this point, so there's no reason to expect we'll be able to stop this one. Alright. Let me just check one thing, and I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to pause recording for just a sec. Okay, so it looks like I have time. So, let's go ahead and queue in for Shiva. And, as I sometimes say, or before these things, she shouldn't be that hard. There are some things that can kill you if you don't pay attention. But, if we get a decent group, it shouldn't be a problem. Alright, so let's go ahead and duty finder up for Afa Amphitheater hard. There we go. Join in, and let's see how long it takes us to get a party. Company seals earned or increased. Interesting. You know, one thing I really haven't done a lot is eat food during these things. The night spread would probably be best. Oh, I gotta see if I can remember that. Well, what I'll probably do is go ahead and pause the recording again. And once this thing pops, I'll be back. Alright, looks like we're good to go. Let's start. We'll see if we end up being main tank or off tank. The last couple we've ended up as off tank, which is fine. There is actually some stuff for the off tank to do in this fight, at one particular point. So, that's perfectly fine. And it looks like we have a DPS who is not paying attention. That's fine. There's probably several more of those in the queue. So as long as we have the healer and tanks, we should be able to get right back in. should be able to get right back in. Or not. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and pause again for a moment, and I'll be back. Alright, here we are again. Commence. Hopefully this time it will go. There we go.
You should never have come here, Warrior of Light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down. We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
Alright then. Let's get to it. Alright, well, looks like that person wants to take main tank. That's fine then. So then we're going to have to pay attention to the same mechanics that the DPS are going to have to, which is perfectly fine. Alright, let's get away from that. Make sure we avoid those AoE circles. And if you're not tanking, do not get in front of the boss. When she switches to her sword weapon, which she's doing right now, she's going to do a massive frontal cleave that will wreck you if you're standing in front of her and you can't absorb that damage. Alright, now this is my job. Ads. Now DPS need to kill these guys as fast as possible. Because if they don't die when Shiva does her ultimate move, everybody in the party dies. So try and contribute as much as I can. Alright, 3 down. Alright, they are all down. Alright, now she's going to be doing her ultimate move. Alright. Now she pretty much has all the same abilities with a couple more new ones. And some of the ones that she does are going to be a tad different, like this one. So we gotta wait till that one drops and then move into the safe area. Right, get away from everybody who has circles around them. They don't do a lot of damage individually, but if you stack a bunch of them, they can cause you problems. Alright, and at some point she's going to freeze the floor of the arena if we get to that. If you move, you will slide into the walls right now. And if you hit the walls during this part, you'll freeze solid. But we're done. Alright, let's see. Is anybody still here? Let's give the other... Oh, no. Some DPS commendation. One of the other players is dancing over there. Well, there's no loot, so no reason for us to stick around. So let's head out of here. We'll probably get a cutscene as we leave.
Fool. Blind, bloody fool. You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence. Mine is the righteous cause. You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers. And they are no less ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth. Warrior of Light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the Keeper of the Lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander Mother's gift. Hear, feel, think.
And so the vessel withdraws, a predictable outcome. Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
All right. So, does that mean that she has the Echo as well? Well, we'll find out, I guess. Alright, Mernbrita. By the 12, you're alive. I mean, of course you're alive. Why wouldn't you be? Iceheart did what? And you're certain about that, are you? Dravanians are skilled with glamours, after all. Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you're not injured? Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations, you see. No? Fair enough. I was only asking. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and pick up the next quest. Mernbrita remains unconvinced that you have not sustained a head injury. Do we have anything interesting in here? Bertang, Glansfaust, Conqueror, Marauder's Arm. That's a pretty nice looking axe. Okay. If you ask me, there's naught to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the Rising Stones, eh? I'll get everyone to meet us there. But before that, you had best pay a visit to Whitebrim Front and speak with Alphino. He's probably worried sick about you. That, or he's busy playing at politics with the Ishgardians. Either way, I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you, hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blurred vision? Oh, no reason. See you again soon. Alright, well, let's head to Whitebrim. Chat with Alphino. And then we'll head back to the Rising Stones, I guess. It's not that far. We'll just ride there. Won't worry about pausing the recording. Alright, so Alphino's in here, probably up stairs a bit. Yep. There he is. There she is, and none the worse for wear. Was there ever any doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for us all when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you would be so kind. Well, it really wasn't all that hard, really. Then we were too late to prevent the summoning. But not too late to prevent further loss of life, an outcome worthy of celebration, and one for which we have Ayame to thank. Yes, you are right, of course, Sir Emmerich. We should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. There is the matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Drillamont, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. Of that, I have no doubt. I take it these are the self-same supplies the heretics stole from the House Fortomp caravan? Less the crystals which comprise the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of that which was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. On an unrelated note, Ayame, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. It took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. Alright, men give vent to their anxieties in myriad ways. Pray do not think less of him. Harsh of Holt, most likely. Alright, we can head over to Dragonhead. Get rid of that. Hello. What were you thinking, Ayame? Wagering your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway? And then engaging the abomination in mortal combat? By the fury, Ayame, 'tis the stuff of ballads, a battle for the ages. Would that I had been there to fight by your side. Yet here was forced to wait, condemned to wonder the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But here you are now, and that is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Emmerich wished to have words with you and Master Alphino in private. He awaits us in the intercessory. Alright. To the intercessory, which is over here. Speak with the guard. Let's see what Emmerich wants to talk about.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Natalan.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We too have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgardsormr could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learnt to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind?
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
Alright. A little bit of wrangling there with Ishgard. Alright, so I guess I'll go ahead and take that Conqueror, just in case I want to use it for glamour. And there's Alphino. But what I think we'll do is we'll go ahead and end the episode here. That took a little bit longer than I was anticipating, so I'm kind of at the end of the time that I have. So, we will continue working on this when we come back next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.